So some actors act like they're in love, and then there are some that actually make you believe it. You know, the kind of electric pairing that stays with you long after you watch that movie? So today we're gonna dive into just that, the best on-screen chemistry. We're gonna break it down into 3 categories. So with that, let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris Chavez. Hope you're having a lovely day. So having on-screen chemistry is pretty vital to the story. If you have 2 characters that are supposed to be in love, but you don't really feel like that they're in love, then the story is really not gonna work. So like I said in the opening, there are gonna be 3 categories that we're gonna cover: romantic chemistry, friendship chemistry, and rivalry chemistry. So first, let's start with my favorite, romantic chemistry. So with romantic chemistry, we're gonna talk about an iconic rom-com, and that of Pretty Woman. That's right, Richard Gere and Julia Roberts. So their playful banter and their vulnerability is textbook when it comes to romantic comedies. All the way from their first scene, there was a natural, unforced spark that kind of happened when you started the film. Richard Gere's calm, suave demeanor paired perfectly with Julia's vibrant, spontaneous kind of, energy. She lit up every scene with her charisma and her warmth. I mean, it's Julia Roberts. Now, the chemistry wasn't just physical attraction, it was an emotional one. The subtle shift in their body language, the way that they looked at each other, and also the iconic scene where he gives her the necklace. The one where he slams the jewelry box and she goes, ah! That was a horrible impression. But every interaction with them felt genuine and electric. And you really did believe that this man loves this woman and vice versa. Now there's a slew of rom-coms that we could have talked about, but for some reason this one struck me. But I think with these 2, it was just that. It was genuine. It wasn't forced. You felt this love that they had. I mean, it worked very well for the story and clearly worked well for everyone who enjoyed the film because it is one of the most iconic rom-coms ever. Next, let's move on to friendship chemistry. Now, this film is my favorite film of all time, and that of Good Will Hunting. No, we're not talking about Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. We're talking about Matt Damon and Robin Williams. Now, where to begin? I mean, their quiet, emotional chemistry, felt really deeply personal when you watch this film. The one word that I could probably describe their relationship is real. Like, it felt so real and so genuine, and you can feel the care between these 2 characters. From the very first therapy session in the film, you can feel the unspoken tension between these 2 characters. I mean, from Matt Damon's portrayal of Will with this, emotionally scarred but insanely brilliant character to Robin Williams' character Sean in this calm, he's seen things, he has this experience in life, kind of fatherly love. I mean, both characters, if you think about it, have scars. They both carry some kind of wound. Where Matt Damon's character was passed around in the foster system, and Robert Williams' character with his wife passing away. And one thing that makes this chemistry work so well is they can balance humor and pain throughout each scene. Robin Williams' natural comedic instinct works perfectly with this relationship between Will and Sean. I mean, those little comic moments help break up the really heavy scenes, especially the iconic scene where Robin Williams even makes the cameraman laugh, where he talks about the little things that he misses about his wife and how she farts in her sleep and she woke herself up. And yes, when he ad-libbed this line and the laugh from Matt Damon was genuine, and you could see the camera shaking because the cameraman was laughing. And it's really cool to trace these 2 characters from the very beginning, where you have this push and pull kind of relationship. And then towards like the end of the film, that push and pull is completely gone. And Will is so grateful for Sean that it's just this unbelievable friendship. But if you haven't seen Good Will Hunting, go watch it. It's on all the streaming services. It's my favorite film. And finally, we're gonna move on to rivalry chemistry. So with this, we're actually gonna move on to the comic book genre and that of Daredevil. I'm talking about Charlie Cox and Jon Bernthal. So Charlie Cox is Daredevil, right? He's calm, he's strategic, and he's deeply conflicted by his morality. And Jon Bernthal's Punisher, geez, I mean, he's intense, he's raw, he's driven by vengeance. And these 2 personalities create a push and pull dynamic for sure. And this constant clash between what's right, what's wrong is just, you feel that tension. And the thing about these characters, they're not just 2 men fighting. They're arguing about worldviews. Matt believes in law and redemption, and Frank is the complete opposite of that. A good example of that is the rooftop scene in season 2 of Daredevil. That rooftop scene is essentially a 1-act play. You could just watch that scene alone on a Broadway stage. They both admit this explosive delivery in their dialogue where you can really understand both sides of the coin. You can relate to Matt and you can also relate to Frank. It's grounded, it's real, it's something that you could see two people actually having this argument about. And both actors are so in tune into their characters that their performances feed off each other so brilliantly. And that's what leads to the grounding of this specific scene and their chemistry between each other. Now, Frank Castle said it perfectly, and I can't, don't quote me on this verbatim, but he said something to Daredevil like, you hit them, they fall down and they get back up, as where I hit them and they stay down. It's something like that. But that little line is exactly why the yin and yang between Frank Castle and Matt Murdock fit perfectly. And yet again, if you haven't seen Daredevil, honestly, it's the best Marvel TV show, in my opinion. But guys, those are my 3 best chemistry, best duo on screen, in my opinion. There are several performances and tons of movies that I could have selected, but I just narrowed it down to these 3 because this could have been a very, very long video. But guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Greatly appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed my list. And if you haven't had a chance, please like, subscribe. That felt really weird. That felt like a game show. I'm sorry. I'll try better next time.